We went 134 plays today. Pretty typical first scrimmage. Like most scrimmages, some good things and some things we got to work on. Felt like we really showed a lot of improvement running the ball, and that's been our emphasis. Line was coming off, runners were running good, and we generated a lot of run yards. Felt like the defense was playing a lot more aggressive than we have in the past, and that's what we want, especially in the secondary. So a lot of things to work on, a lot of penalties. Pass game, not what it needs to be right now. Got a little work to go there. So overall, it's a good first scrimmage. Got to go clean it up.
Derek, these guys suggested that it was really a heavy influence, as you said it might be, with the run game, that you weren't really looking much at the pass. Was there a differential? How heavy were you investing in the running game today?
Well, that's been our emphasis, but it doesn't mean we still threw the ball quite a bit. Had worked on some 2-minute stuff, and we're just not as polished right now. And of course, it hurts not having Justin and got some new guys out there. So we're just not where we need to be throwing the ball, but we're showing some improvement in running the ball. That's a good sign.
Derek, after learning 2 weeks of learning a new defense, how would you rate how the defense kind of handled it in the scrimmage type situation?
I was pleased. There weren't a lot of mental breakdowns, which it allowed them to play fast. We got to do a better job of stopping the run, but we're playing a lot more aggressively, playing more physical, denying the ball in the back end a little bit better. And as long as you're playing with that kind of aggressiveness and toughness, all the other stuff will come.
How much does it benefit your offense?
What's that?
I'm sorry. How much does it benefit your offense?
Well, I think it's a little bit the reflection of our throwing game right now, because they're playing a little more deny the ball defense in the back end. They're up there pressing us and challenging us, mixing it up, the coverages, and I think it's going to help us. And they're not giving us anything easy, making us work for it. Running backs, Heather.
Yeah, which one impressed you the most?
Well, the guys that showed some explosive plays, Devin and Rajon did a really nice job. I think Deverin's proven he can get out there and generate some explosion. He's a good change-up, pace setter, and can get a big play, and Rajon showed some good promise today.
Derek, when you've got two guys like that to have some speed, how much emphasis is it on for the receivers to block and hold there?
Yeah, and they're doing so much better on the perimeter, all of them. And it showed today. And those guys, we just got to find ways to create a little air for them, because when there's some air, they can go.
Had that been a problem? Rick talked about how invested he's been trying to be in run blocking. Is that a problem with him?
He's worked his tail off, and he made some big blocks out there today. Didn't catch any balls, and obviously that's not what we want in the game, but it's good. It's progress, and he should feel good about that.
Is that a point of emphasis for Darren Henshaw?
For all the wideouts, but it's the offense. How are we going to run the ball better, and everybody's got to commit to it.
Derek, any emphasis on the special teams, kicking game, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we worked all phases today, but we're not really ready on kickoff, return. We really did more like a practice there. We still got a long way to go on special teams. Our snapper is hurt right now, so he's out, so that's affecting us a little bit in the punt game. We got new holders. We lost our holders, so all the mechanics on field goals, those kinds of things. And so we just got to keep polishing it up.
How's Pillardi going? It says he's healthy.
He kicked the ball off really well today. I got to go look at the film, but it was popping off his leg a little better than I've ever seen. So that was a good, encouraging thing. I think he's enjoying the moving it up 5.
Yeah.
He's lobbying for the 40 now.
Having Herman back, I know you're going to want to look at the film specifically to see how he did, but just having him.
Good presence out there. He's active. He's physical. Got some leadership qualities. He's going, I hope. So important. You can't get guys hurt, and it's important that you're deep and talented. So a guy gets hurt, it doesn't affect you. But if we need Herman to stay healthy, because he's a good presence for us over there.
Did you have to monitor or hold him back at
all? No, we let him go. He's going to have to go, because I think a lot of his concerns are mental. He's got to get out there and take the licks and recover from it and see that his body can do it.
Justin get a chance in a scrimmage?
No, we held Justin and Prentice out. And Majid, all the shoulder guys, we held them out today.
Derek, you said that you had a bunch of bodies in the secondary, but you weren't real sure.
Mm-hmm.
You said just a minute ago they were denying and doing some things.
Playing a lot more aggressive.
Who stands out back there to you right now? Are you still
It's
just a
still,
collection of bodies?
yeah, it's still a collection, and we got to keep evaluating them. But I'm just excited that, you know, we're demanding a little more aggressiveness back there, and making the offense work for it. And you know, we're going to challenge them and get our hands on the wide outs. Now, to do that, you got to be extremely disciplined in your technique, because if you have a breakdown, it could be a big play.
Do you see them more confident? Can you kind of?
I think so. I think, you know, once they start really believing in the technique and how it's going to help them, and even how it helps them overcome any limitations they have, that they're going to play better and better. We still, you know, need to keep doing a better job on tackling in space, because our backs got out there a couple of times and some guys, you know, couldn't get them on the ground.
Derek, how much you talk about maybe playing more press, and it seems like, you know, that's going to be part of this defense. How much can that help those guys maybe, you know, avoid getting run by, as, you know, they struggled with that some last year?
Well, as long as they play the technique correctly, and when you play good receivers and you're giving them access to you down in space, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to cover. So, you know, we're going to keep doing it.
Coach Brian Randolph said he had an interception and a blocked field goal.
Yeah.
Did he have a pretty good day?
Yeah. Well, those two things are a good start. You know, we put a little emphasis on field goal block, trying to get back in. He's got some skill sets to do it. So, Brian, you know, he's a true sophomore. He's still, still in his freshman year, and, you know, he looks like a junior out there from a maturity standpoint. So, he's kind of been a steady hand in the secondary.
Derek, how much did you need to see the left side of the line with Dallas and Tiny in sort of this live situation like this?
Yeah, it was good, and I think it's a pretty good combination. Of course, Antonio, a lot of the freshman stuff showed today with some penalties, and, you know, you get a little emotional when things aren't going right. So that's just going to take time to build continuity. But I think we made a good move there. I think it's going to pay off.
He seems to have guys just sort of seem to gravitate to him.
He's got that. He's got a lot of leadership skills. You know, he's got that dynamic personality. It's hard not to like. You know, he's just one of those types.
How much more settled are you at center with Alex? You know, kind of having
he's still work in progress. Just developing consistency with the snaps. And Max doing a good job too. Max pushing Alex. So we got two guys there. And they got to keep getting better.
What about the nose tackle position? I know you don't have.
Well, Mo was out today. He didn't play, so that hurt us. That set us back a little bit. We moved Trent Taylor in there. Trent's got some good skill sets, so I think Trent's going to be a really good player. We're not sure where, but he's got the body type and the ability to play pretty much everything across the defensive line. That's what we've been focusing on him on lately. He had a concussion, so we had to hold him.
We guys scrimmaged again before the Orange White game.
Oh yeah, we got one next Saturday. So we got to go clean up the film. You know, now correct all the mistakes that we did and keep growing, and see if we can show some improvement next week.
Derek, at the risk of Patrick Browning me because I walked up late. Tyler was saying he was most pleased.
Patrick Browning me?
Yeah.
It's got a name now.
Tyler was saying he was most pleased with the fact that he checked down a lot today. I mean,
He did. Quarterbacks are getting a lot better at that, and it created some explosive plays. Those are some of our best pass plays. So he's showing a lot of growth in some areas, but we didn't have those big play down the field plays that we are used to having, and a lot of it is our receiving core isn't quite there yet. But he's managing the offense better than he ever has. He's hitting the check downs better than he ever has, and I think he's learning how to be a complete quarterback, so he's on track.
how encouraging is that after just one scrimmage?
Very much. And, you know, the maturity level of these guys is so much better. You know, they're not, I mean, Tyler's not in the tank because his stats aren't great. Dorick's not in the tank because he didn't catch a ball today. I mean, they're working on their game and improving for the team, and that's a real sign of maturity. Now, in the game, probably won't be like that, but you got to start practice.
Is he specifically seeing things in the run game better than he was last year?
I think so. Yeah, I just think he's getting older, getting a little better.
Richardson talked about learning new techniques in the offensive line. How involved do you get in something like that with the offensive line?
I don't get too technical with those guys. You know, my thing with the offensive line has always been communication, working together, and playing with physicality. So when they hear the head coach getting on them, it usually has to do with them not knowing what to do or not communicating up front or not playing with the kind of toughness and effort we need them to. But the rest of that stuff, that's why we got Sam here.
Worley and Peterman, how'd they look today?
Did some decent things. Worley's had a really good spring. Same thing. They're doing a good job of moving and hitting the check downs, finding the open guy. And of course Nate's young, but he's got some good promise. We got a good group of quarterbacks. We really do. Okay, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.